Hey guys, welcome into my channel. If you're new here, my name is Carrie, and today we're going to be playing with the new NYX Avatar The Way of Water collection. So I did place the order for the whole collection. It's quite a big lot here. I don't think we'll play with everything, but this collection just looked really exciting and colorful and different, and the blush palette looked amazing. So let's just jump right into it. We'll get to playing with these. Okay, so full disclaimer, this is the first time I've ever purchased a full collection from any brand ever. Another disclaimer, I have tried one NYX eyeshadow palette before and wasn't super impressed with it. Ended up decluttering it. It was the Ultimate Queen palette. It just that the mattes weren't very pigmented and they just came out a little bit patchy. So I have high hopes for this palette. I hope it doesn't disappoint me. Let's take everything out, let's swatch it, and then we'll start applying it. So the first thing that they have in the box is the Navi paint. It's the face and body paint, and this is in the shade Navi Blue. I'm assuming this is safe around the eyes. This is not something that I'm gonna end up playing with. I just can't do themed makeup where I'm painting my whole face. It's kind of cool. It's a nice concept to throw into the collection. It's just not something that I'm gonna play with. I think that this is like super pigmented. Like it's not sheer. It blended out so easily. Like it's very creamy and it has good like opaqueness, like undertone. Wow, look at that. So, I mean, it has lasting power. We know that much. Let's pull out the highlighters next. There are 3 highlighters that came with this collection. They're all stick highlighters. The pink one is in Coral Reef. The yellow is in Sunrise Banshee Ride. And then the minty green one is in Seagrass. This is the one in Seagrass. They all look very iridescent and pretty. They have a good, like, they're very emollient, like they're very slippy. Here's the one that's in Seagrass. So it has like a shift to it, but it almost kind of has a brown base. And there is the one in Coral Reef. It almost has like a copper tone to it. There is Coral Reef. And this one is Sunshine Banshee Ride. This one looks really pretty. This one almost looks like it has a orange shift to it. I really like that one. And they do have a lot of like sparkles in them. I can see that. And I think this color is one that I would definitely play with and probably would match a lot of the eyeshadows that are in this palette. And I love this color right here. I don't know that I would get a lot of use out of like the blue-green one on an everyday basis, but I think these two you can. It also comes with a facial mist. This one's called Metcaina Mist. And I do want to put this one on now. I did do my base makeup and I did my eyebrows and I powdered my face. So I feel like I kind of want to use this spray now. Let's test the sprayer. I have the fan going in here. I take that back. It was like taking a small shower. Like the mister, if you get too close, is like really powerful stream. So yeah, I got drenched with that. I don't detect any kind of smell, and this cap is like kind of ridiculous to get on and off. It doesn't say that it's a setting spray, but it says up to 16-hour wear over makeup. So it appears that it's like a long lasting or like a setting spray. I'm gonna go back in. Like honestly, that actually felt super hydrating to my face. I was wearing like a powder that was maybe a little bit heavier and it kind of felt like it was a little bit drying, but this actually feels really good going on. Where sometimes you're like, the moment it dries down, like the powder, I mean, the spray doesn't feel like it did anything, but this one kind of feels like it actually is doing something. Like it felt super hydrating. All right, let's move on into the lipsticks. So they come with 2 matte lipsticks and they come in 2 different shades. This one right here is Neytiri and this one is in Ronal. It's really cute packaging. It's just a cardboard packaging. They look a lot like the Sephora collection lipsticks. And there's that bullet. It's a very creamy matte formula. That's the one in Neytiri. And there is the one in Ronal. It's a very bright pink color. There's the swatch. These are super opaque, like they're really full coverage lipsticks, so they look fun to play with. Let's look at these glosses. So the collection comes with 3 different glosses. This one is in Shimmering Waters, and it's like a blue purple shifty gloss. And then this is like a lilac one. It's called Biolume Glow. It's very pretty. And then they have a more green to like purple shift, and this one is in Illuminate. They have kind of like a tapered edged doe foot applicator that kind of like looks like it would sit nicely over your lips. So these are the colors here. It's a really sheer gloss. This is the purple one that was in Biolume Glow. Then we had the one that was like more blue with a purple shift, and that one was the Shimmering Waters one. And then the last one was the Illuminate. This looked like it had a purple shift, but it almost kind of looks like it has a brown base to it. These aren't very opaque, they're very sheer glosses. And the only one that really has shimmers in it is the purple one right here. So it's probably the one that I want to use because it just looks the most fun. And the next thing that they had in the collection is a cheek palette. This one's called the Avatar Pandorian Paradise. This actually looked so beautiful. Here is it open. It does not come with a mirror, but these shades look fantastic. And then it has two highlighters, powder highlighters in the middle here. So all of these like blush shades, maybe minus this one, actually look like something you could reach for on more of an everyday basis. Like I can see a lot of people using this shade, and these two right here look right up my alley. Like colors that I would wear all the time. And these look like multi-chrome highlighters. This darker purple one I probably wouldn't wear all the time, but this actually looks like a really good cheek palette. There are the swatches there. I was really impressed with like how pillowy the blush swatches felt. They're not like a powder formula. Like look, I've swatched them and they don't even look like I've swatched them. The same thing with these. You can kind of see the indentation, but they're more of like a putty formula, which is not what I was expecting. And I kind of feel that way about this. Like if you kind of watch me press it, it's definitely more of like a putty than it is a powder. It doesn't exactly say like what the formula is on these, but it does say that this has a 6-month shelf life, which is, you know, more indicative of a product that's like a cream formula. This is definitely not powder. But yeah, the blushes were super pigmented. They were super easy to swatch. These highlighters were a little bit harder. They almost felt like what topper shadows feel like to me. So that's how these came out. Here's a close-up of them, but the blushes felt really good. My only concern is how are they gonna pick up on a brush when they're that kind of cream formula and a little bit harder to like pick up even on your finger, but we will be testing it, so we'll see. All right, and the final thing in the collection is the eyeshadow palette. I'm really excited for this. This is what the inside looks like. It says water connects all things, and here is the color story. I'm not gonna swatch this whole thing because there are a lot of like duo shades and duo shadows in these bigger pan sizes, but this looks fantastic. All right, so let's go into the blush palette here. And I think that I'm gonna do like one pinky purple eye look just so that we can test out some of the pinky purple shades. And then I think I wanna do like a blue, like green, maybe teal eye look. I'm gonna at least try and use 2 of these blushes, and I'm gonna go into like this pinky shade here, and then on the other side I'm gonna try the yellow one. I think that's what we're gonna do. So I'm interested to see how this picks up on like a pretty dense brush. I can see that some pigment is coming off. Let's just, yeah, it's really pigmented. There's no issues picking it up on a dense brush. That is a punchy blush. Like it's really, really pink. I'm gonna get close. Can you guys see how soft that looks and how airbrushed it looks? Like it went on super easily, and it actually just looks, I don't know, really smoothing on the cheeks. All right, let's go into this more yellow blush here, and I'm just gonna take another dense, it's like a foundation brush, but I don't really care. And it's picking up quite a bit, and let's apply it to this side. This one is not as pigmented as the other one. It has some pigmentation, but it's kind of a light shade. Let me go into this like more orangey shade here and see if I can't like layer these two. I mean, I can see that it's picking up, but I kind of just wanna like add a little bit more color. Yeah, that's my shade right there. Like that's my everyday shade. This one is a little bit light, but this one, super good. I mean, this one too, super everyday shade. This one might be too dark for my skin tone, but I think these 3 would work. This one over here, and then these 2. I just think this one has to kind of be built up a little bit, but guys, it's super like airbrushed looking. Like it looks beautiful when it's on the skin. It's a good standalone palette, not just kind of like, you know, collection or gimmicky. It's really nice. So we're definitely gonna have to try the more pinky highlighter stick in the shade Coral Reef. And I don't think I'm gonna apply this directly to my cheeks. I think what I wanna do is just take a clean sponge and see if I can't pick it up. This one had more glitters than the other ones did. And like I said, it was a pretty emollient formula. But yeah, it's gonna have like a lot of sparkles in it. Yeah, this is super sparkly, Like, it just has a lot of glitters in it. It's not something I would wear on an everyday basis. It's dried down, so there's no stickiness to it, which is what I find with a lot of like stick product. They just get tacky and sticky, and then I don't really like that, but I do like the consistency of this. It kind of feels like a cream to powder formula because it's already dry. It's just that you have to like a lot of glitters because it packs a punch of glitters. I definitely want to go into this Sunrise Banshee Ride shade, the more yellowy shade, because it looked like it had like a coppery undertone, and I just feel like it would sit super nicely like on top of this blush. So I just took another clean sponge and I'm applying it to this side. This almost looks like it has like green shift, like green sparkles in it. I'm looking in the mirror and I just want to keep building and building. Like, this one is really, really pretty. Can you guys see that? Look how gorgeous that looks. I'm digging this. This is one that I would reach for to go to work. Like, this one, not bad. Is it coming off on camera? It's really, really pretty. It almost looks super natural. This one doesn't have as much glitter as the pink one does. I do like a lot of NYX products. It's just in the eyeshadow department and the fact that I've only tested one NYX palette that I have been sorely disappointed. And granted, it was just one formula, but that one won like Allure Best of Beauty. So I was shocked that it was picked for the Allure winners because the quality to me was like really bad. Like, it was not good quality. I've had better quality in more inexpensive palettes, and like, this wasn't a cheap collection. It was $120, and I think for just the palette, like 40 bucks. And I think we all know, if you know NYX products by now, you know that they tend to be a little bit more expensive. Like, they're the pricier side of drugstore. And some of their products are really, really good. It's just that I have not had like luck with their eyeshadows, having tried just the one. So I'm excited. Like, this needs to redeem the NYX eyeshadow formula for me. I'm gonna start with the pinky look first. I am gonna go into this matte shade here, this one at the bottom. This is Coral Queen. Actually, some of these look like pressed glitters or like toppers. That's like the purple one at the bottom. Yeah, I mean, it has pigmentation. I don't think it's a topper. I definitely think it's a shimmer. It's just really, really, like, it's that same formula that I'm getting from the highlighters. It's just really hard pressed and almost feels like a cream. I'm definitely gonna dirty some brushes right now. All right, let's go into this one right here, and I'm gonna put it all over above the crease on the left side. As I'm picking this up, I get a good amount that transfers to the brush, but there's nothing coming up in the pan. There's no powderiness whatsoever. That is pigmented. I'm done. That's it. Like, it doesn't need anything else. Like, that's all that look needed. Let's go into, there is a satin shade here that I think I want to take into the crease, which is this one down here, and it's called I Love You. It's ILU and the word you. I'm just picking that up on the same brush, and I'm gonna take it like more into the crease. So there's like no fallout with this. And so far, I don't think those shades blended too much together, but they are kind of translating a little bit similarly onto the eye. But we're gonna deepen it up right now. I'm gonna take just a clean like packer brush, and I'm gonna take, if I could, I would literally play with all of these colors. I think I'm gonna take this darker purple in the shade Tide Pool down here and start to deepen up the outer corner. Yeah, full disclaimer, like, this palette is kicking ass. Like, these shades are blending in super nicely with one another, and they have like a good amount of pigmentation. With this purple one, immediately what I was thinking was like, is this gonna be overly pigmented? Like, am I gonna have to be careful? And I didn't. Like, it actually complemented. It has kind of like a, like, it's deep, but it has almost like a pinky undertone, but it went on so nicely. Like, it's a more buildable shade. It's not super punchy right out of the gate. I want to take this Spirit Tree shade that's part of the Duo pan, and then like the shimmery part, and I want to place it on top of that deeper purple that I put in the outer corner, just because I want sparkles everywhere. Now, this one has been difficult for me. I'm like, which one do I want to use for the shimmer? But I definitely think I'm going to go into the Panoplia, this one right here, which is like a pinky shimmer. I'm picking this up on my brush, like a flat brush, and it is dry. It's kind of a crumbly shimmer. Like it definitely has a lot of like kickback to it. These are not like super easy to work with shimmers, or at least this one isn't. It's definitely like kind of moves around a bit. Like, ooh, it's leaving my eye. Yeah, some of these shimmers almost feel like toppers. Like this one and that darker purple, but it's just very minimal on like the inner corner. So I think I'm gonna take this really, really light blue right here called Wood Spray with my finger, and I'm gonna see if I can't, I don't know, just apply this to maybe like the inner corner of the lid. Yeah, in hindsight, I probably would have done the shadows first and then like gone in with my base products, but it's not like too bad. It's not making too much of a mess. I would say that it's these shimmers, they kind of have a lot of like fallout. They're definitely not like stay where you put them. Like it's not a place and go sort of situation. Like it definitely, they kind of transfer a little bit. They're a little bit more creamy than kind of some of the shimmers I guess that I'm used to. But I think that was pretty. I definitely think, you know, I had to clean up a little bit of the darker purple shade. Okay, so that eye's done. Super purple and pink. I'm gonna make a green blue look next. So I'm gonna go into this matte green shade here, which is called Under the Fractal Reef. Yeah, again, just not a very, like it doesn't have any fallout on these shades, and the mattes are super pigmented. Now I'm gonna go into this like darker green here that's called the Mekayana Reef is what I think it's called. And I'm gonna do this in the crease. That one took a little bit of extra blending, like it was a little patchy. I'm gonna take this like teal shade right here that is in Flaunt Your Flora. And I'm gonna start to build the outer corner with this shade. And then I'm gonna go into like this darker blue here, this shimmer that looks so delightful, and then top up this like satin color in this teal one here. That teal one was so beautiful and so easy to apply. I think I'm definitely gonna do the Cove of the Ancients, which is this one right here, and I'm gonna put it like on the outer part of the lid, and then I'm gonna go into the lighter shade, which is called Pandora. It's like a gold, and go on the inner corner. Yeah, there's like fallout of these shimmers. They're definitely chunkier, and they're not like overly shiny shimmers either. They're not like ultra pigmented. I think that one came out beautifully. Like I like that one more than I like this pinky purple one. It did come out a little bit more green and yellow than I thought I was gonna do. Maybe I'll just kind of like build up this blue a little bit in the outer corner. Okay, so I put like the darker shade that I did in the outer corner on the outer half of the lower lash, and then I did like the shimmer, the lighter shimmer that I did on the inner corner on the inner half of the lower lash line. So that's the completed eye look, you guys. I haven't put on any mascara yet, so I will just go ahead and throw on some mascara, and then we'll come back and we're gonna try some of these lip products. Okay, I put my mascara on, but I also put on my NYX retractable lip liner. This one's in the shade Plum. I love these, by the way. I have 3 of these. I would definitely get more of these shades. This is like one of my favorite drugstore lip pencils. It's actually just one of my favorite lip pencils in general. And I put it on because I know we're gonna go into the Natiri one, the more plum shade. So let's just throw this on, because I'm definitely not gonna put on like the hot pink. It just, I don't think there's enough pink in this eye look to make it look good. So let's put this on and like test out the formula. It's a really creamy matte formula. It's so creamy, that's all it took. Like, it's super pigmented, really creamy. It's the kind that's so pigmented you could just apply it to the bottom lip and then pucker your lips together and it's on. How vampy and like dark that looks. Ooh, that kind of looks good. So I think the one that I wanted to go into, like the gloss that I wanted to try, was the one Biolume Glow, because I thought this one had the most pigmentation to it. So let's slap this on. I thought that was really iridescent and beautiful. I think it complements the Natiri shade underneath. Don't you think it looks good? Yeah, I'm really digging this lip look. And I really love these green and blue shades over here. I think they were gorgeous. So let's go through each of them and I'll tell you my final thoughts on all of the products. I have no thoughts about this except that it looks really, really pigmented and it was super long lasting. It's gonna stain your face. So if this is something that you would use to face paint with, it's gonna stain it for sure. The setting spray felt really hydrating. The sprayer is like powerful, like it really shoots you in the face. And I'm indifferent about a lot of facial mists and a lot of setting sprays, but this is one that actually felt like it was really hydrating my face after like the spray had dried. So I actually like this. This is probably one I'm not gonna find like gimmicky, and I'm actually gonna like reaching for because it felt really hydrating. And the cheek palette, you guys, I thought even though this was more of a putty formula, that I really liked the blushes because they looked very airbrushed on my cheeks. So this is one that I would just grab for normally. I think this is an everyday wearable palette. I don't know about these highlighters because I didn't get to test them out. It's, you know, hard to get all of this stuff on your cheeks, but I got to test out the stick ones. So let's talk about those a little bit. I did not get to test the mint green one out, but these two, I thought this one was just overly glittery. It's not something that I normally would go for, but if you like a lot of like glitter on your cheeks as opposed to kind of something that melts into your skin, this is gonna be that, right? Because this is just like a punch of glitter. This one in the shade Sunrise Banshee Ride was beautiful, like so gorgeous, something I would reach for on an everyday basis. Feels like a cream to powder formula because it dried down so quickly and it was so easy to apply and looks really beautiful and natural on the cheeks. The eyeshadow palette for me was a little bit of a hit or miss. I really liked the mattes. Most of them didn't give me any issues. The only one that I found that was like a little bit patchy was this one right here, but it actually was quite easy to like blend it out. Once I was like, okay, it's starting to get a little patchy, I'm just gonna like give it a little bit more force, and it buffed right out. Like there was no other issues. It's really the shimmer formula that I don't absolutely love. It's just not as punchy as I'm used to, and they were a little bit more difficult to work with. They don't have a whole lot of shine. Almost every one of the shimmers seemed more like a topper, honestly. I played with quite a number of shimmers here, and all of them seemed, yeah, like except this blue one just didn't have a lot of base to them, seemed more like toppers. But I think the matte formula was way better than in the Ultimate Queen palette that I tried. Just not overly impressed with the shimmers, that's really all I can say. It's kind of an expensive palette, but you do get quite a bit of shades in here. And the one thing that I do notice about this is that you can get a neutral look out of it if you really wanted to. Some of these light shimmers can create more of a neutral look, but it also has a good variety of colors. So if you like something that you can translate into more of your everyday look, I think you could probably get that with this. I actually think that these two lip products were super good. Like I didn't try both, but the formula was so comfortable. It was such a creamy matte formula that, like I said, I applied it to the bottom and I was like, oh, okay, it's done. It was so pigmented and so full coverage, and it was super comfortable even before I topped it with gloss. So even though I didn't try this bright pink, I think that this like more plummy color, super vampy, super cool for this time of year. It was quite nice. I only tried one gloss, you saw that. I liked that they were iridescent. I found that it was pretty with the more purple one on top of this plum shade here. I liked it. That is a roundup of everything, you guys. If I was gonna say anything that's really worth getting, like I actually really do like these stick highlighters. I mean, I don't love the pink color, but I do like this one. I thought the matte formula was super comfy. Cheek palette, really liked that. So if you were gonna pick up anything, I think it would be like these three things right here. Like these were my absolute favorite from today. I had a lot of fun playing with the Way of the Water collection with you guys today. I hope my review is helpful, or at least it gave you a little bit of R&R, and not that you need to go out and create these looks and then go to church with it, but it's fun to play around with makeup. So thanks for hanging and playing with me, and happy holidays, you guys, because we are in December. Even though I didn't create like a December vibe, who cares about all of that? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.